Hey everybody, it's Jeremy, and I just wanted to give you a quick kind of demo and mini tutorial on how to game with Tabletop Simulator. So, TTS or Tabletop Simulator is an app you buy through Steam. Steam is a store where you can get computer games, predominantly PC games, but also Mac games are on there as well. And Tabletop Simulator will run on Mac or PC. So it's a one-time purchase. Normally it's $20 to buy TTS. Sometimes it's on sale for half price. So if you get it during those sale times, it's a pretty good deal. But when you launch it, it looks like this. And you can join an existing game or table, or you can create your own. So I'm going to go ahead and create one here. And you can choose to create a single player game, multiplayer, or hot seat. Hot seat is when you have multiple people in the same physical location and you're switching seats, okay, in front of the computer. So I'll just do single player for right now. And when you launch it, you get a little menu of the different kind of games that maybe you might want to select. You can always go to the workshop and load more. You can save and load games. But I think I'll just give you a demo with the new game from Leader Games called Fort. So I'll just load Fort up. And there's a chat window down here. So in game, you can chat if you want to, or sometimes the games will give statuses in here too. Like if you do a dice roll, sometimes it might show the value of the dice in that window too. But here you can see we have a 3D board of the game Fort. And this is an official release, so this isn't one just made by some random person. But so there's instructions over here to kind of get you going. And if I right click on my mouse, I can spin around the game. Okay, so I can move around in real time in 3D space. And I can use the scroll mouse to zoom in. And I can click and drag stuff by using the left button. Or if I right click, again, I can move that around there. Or if I hold down the mouse wheel, if you have a wheel mouse, you can zoom around the board. The other way you can zoom around the board is with WASD on the keyboard. So just like your arrow keys maybe. So W would be up, S would be down, A and D left and right. So here I'm pressing W, S, A, D, and then space bar will bring you back to sort of the default full camera view. So it's pretty easy to move around. Now, obviously, like at this screen size, I can't really see much of what's going on with the cards, but what's cool is if you hold down the Alt key, anything you're hovering over, it pops up into like full size, so you can read it. And you can even read the game manual in here. So there's a game manual, you can look at different pages of it, and there's the rules embedded right in the game. In this case, for example, here's some cards, here's another deck of cards, here's the victory tracker, or here's a reference sheet, and you have the player boards on all sides. So what you do is you click on your name and you say change color, and then you pick one of the colors you want to be. I'll just go ahead and pick orange here, and then you see it says my username down here at the bottom of the table. So you can see who all the players are around the table. And I'm going to go ahead and say deal. It's going to kind of set the game up. So I get the first player card, and it's going to shuffle me some cards, and it's automatically going to deal me a hand. Now, TTS doesn't necessarily do this for you. The game mods or workshops, the games that you load in TTS, they may be scripted or not. So when you look at some games, it'll say scripted or partially scripted or something like that. And that's some of this like game setup, game automation stuff, but the game doesn't know the rules. You have to know the rules to be able to play this game. So I could easily play a wrong card and the game will let me. It's not a big deal to the game. The game doesn't care. Okay, so let's zoom in here and take a look around. So in this game, you can see that there's a little deck of cards, 2 cards here, because this is a solo player game. These cards, there's always one more than the number of players. Same with these perks, there's always one more than the number of players, or 5. It's a 4-player game. This is a end game bonus. Same. These 2 things are basically the same thing here. Okay. These are bags, and inside the bag are tokens. So if you click and drag, you can pull out a token. And so there is my toy token, and I can also pull out a pizza token. So there's my pizza token, okay? And you can pick those up, you can move them around. What you really want to do is when you earn them in the game is you put them into your stuff here, okay? So for example, if I drag the pizza down, it's got snapping, so cards and tokens will snap into place if the game is built well. I mean, you can just place it there. It doesn't, like, see, I can just take this and move it around. Like, it doesn't really matter. I can put it up here. So that doesn't matter so much, okay? But there is snapping, and then your hand is here. And if you want to, if you see at the bottom here, I'm going to go back to full view. So I hit the space bar to go back to full table view. And if you just move your mouse down to the bottom of the table, you see your hand kind of pops up here. Now your hand is private. If I rotate the table around to the other side and I look at my hand, like I switch players. Sorry, I'll change my color to green. Okay, see I can't see another player's hand, right? So when you're playing, you see your own, and you just see the backs of everybody else's, okay? Your cards are private, just like in the real world. But if you don't want to see this double, see how they're kind of on the edge of the table and they're also here at the bottom, you can hit H to hide them, and then you can just work with the ones at the end of your table if you want. It's up to you. If you take these and move these around, you see they're just a mirror image of each other, okay? So this is your hand. Right, and if I want to play some of these cards, so in this case here, I'm going to play one of my cards. I'll go ahead and play Flipper here. So I'll put that, it snaps into place. Now this is a wild suit card, so the little coin with multicolors, that just means wild, so it could be any suit. And the top action lets you take 2 of any resources, and the bottom action lets you trash a card out of the game. Now, it's too soon in the game for me to trash, so I probably won't do that bottom action, but I will take 2 resources. And you know what? Oh, hey, I already did. I took a pizza and a toy, and they're on my board. So that card has been played. After it's been played, you move it to your discard pile, okay? And then in this game, any other of your best friends who have the star on them, they would also go in the discard, because you never release those kids to the yard, right? But the rest of your cards, you put them out in the yard because maybe they're going to go play with another player on the next round here. So you put them out there, right? And then you draw the next 5 cards. And you can hit the F key to flip cards over if you want to keep them hidden, right? If you flip a card over, other players might see it, right? So if this was my deck of cards and I flipped them over, like, somebody could look at that and see what's in there. So you want to flip your cards upside down, really. And then you can right click on anything in this game and you get a contextual menu. So here I can say, okay, shuffle the cards. That just randomly number generated does a shuffle. You only have to do it one time. I mean, you could hit the R key. R will shuffle, or if you have dice, it'll roll dice. So R is shuffle or roll. And you can draw. So if I need to draw 5 cards from my hand, I can click 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's 1 left and 5. Okay, so there I drew the 5 cards into my hand because I have to have cards in my hand for the next person to play. Now, if I was done and the other player was done, and I also get to recruit a card in this game. So if I wanted to recruit, I could just grab and put to my discard pile. There we go. I just recruited a card. This is a little bit of a deck builder, right? And then when these cards are done, see, you can click and drag to multi-select and drag them over to the pile and let go, and they all swoop in there, okay? So if they're the same orientation, like same face up, same face down, and you release multiple items, they'll go into a stack. If I had some cards out here on the field and this stack was upside down and I did a swoop, drag, and drag them in there, see, they just sit on top because it knows what side's up and what side's down. So we'll move those back, flip these back over, hit the F key. Now everything's selected because I had the stack and these selected, so I'm going to click off and flip these back over. If you just hover over them, you don't have to actually click them, you can just hover over them, okay? I'm going to sweep over those and go over there and release. Now, if you want to move a whole deck of cards, for example, like here, now I could I could pull off a card up here, and I will because I have to replenish this pile. So I just click and drag to pull one off, right? If you click and hold and then pull, it's gonna pull the whole deck. So you can pick up groups of things, okay? So I'll put that whole deck back. There we go. And again, just click and drag quick, and I'll just pull off one, okay? And put it back, and you're good. Now, you can also put stuff back in here. Now, these two cards, these are hidden cards, for example, and you can look at them without anybody else seeing them. You don't have to flip them over. So to do that, if you hold down Shift Option or Shift Alt, it will show you the top card, okay? It also puts a little eye symbol on there so somebody can see if you're peeking at a card. So that's peek, Shift Option or Shift Alt. Or you can right-click and click on Search, and then it shows you what the two cards are here without you having to flip them over and show them to everybody else, because these are hidden until you get to access them, and then you look at both of them and then you pick one. So at the end of the game, score 1 victory point per toy you have, or at the end of the game, score 1 per card that's in your lookout area. Okay, so you might want to pick one of those and put them in your hand. So that's kind of how you do it. It's not that complicated. It's pretty easy to get used to. There are other things you can do, like you can hit M to magnify, and it just magnifies a section of your screen, and can be anywhere on the table, and you can kind of zoom in. You can also zoom the scroll wheel on your mouse to zoom in and out of things sometimes. So I'm just holding down M to get the magnifier, right? What else? There's a lot of other commands. Oh, if you want to rotate a card, you can choose the rotation angle here, and let me zoom in. So if I wanted to rotate this card, I can hit Q or E. Q goes left, 90 degrees, and E goes right, 45 degrees. Well, I don't know why it's there. It should only be going 45. Normally 45, you can change this, but I usually have it set to 90, I guess. So anyway, if you hover over something and hit E, it rotates right. Hit Q, it rotates left. So you can rotate stuff around. You just pick up and grab stuff, put it anywhere. There are, some of these have snapping. Some games won't have snapping. It's kind of up to you to figure out, which ones do and which ones don't. But yeah, and sometimes there's even like a web browser where you can like load pages and videos. Sometimes people will build tables with like tons of reference materials on them, so you can easily zoom in and see what things are. So that's pretty cool. It's just like playing games in the real world. If I wanted to hand a card to somebody, I could just be like, here's your card, go in your discard pile. Oh no, I changed my mind, I'm gonna take it back. It works just like the real world. So you just pick up and move stuff around, okay? So that's kind of how the game works, and you have to know the rules on when the game ends or not. And yeah, just give it a try. It's totally fun and totally worth it. All right, thanks. We'll talk to you guys later.